Welcome, everybody, followers of the Grail of the Serpent. Today, I got a very special interview with my good friend, Vince Kelvin. Vince Kelvin is a legend in the pickup community, okay? Anyone who knows about pickup must have heard about Vince Kelvin. If not, you've been studying the wrong stuff, okay? Vince Kelvin, he was born in Switzerland, and I think at 19 years old, he moved over to the United States, and he has a movie of a life, and went through all kinds of things, and eventually stumbled upon hypnosis and studied the social dynamics. And now he's a pickup artist and has been in the game for decades. And he resides in Hollywood. That's his location of choice. And well, he teaches students, and he's becoming really, really famous and growing every day. So thanks for doing this, Vince. How are you today?
Phenomenal. You know, Frank, the best is yet to come. And I thank you so much for doing this. And you know, you have helped me transition and reach levels that before that I didn't know existed. So I'm very grateful for that. To me, I always measure there's before ever connecting with you and after. It added a plus that keeps on evolving. All the packs that you've helped me make and so on. I was not new to magic, but the something somewhere what was missing at the level of really connecting. And I, you know, more and more realize that of my own, we all have tremendous qualities. And at a young age, we may not know that. And we also have many liabilities. The experience of life itself is certainly not easy. Yet the majority of it happens beyond my own knowing. Right now, some of the food I ate for breakfast is being digested and so on. And I have very little part, if any, in doing that. So the assistance you brought in connecting, you know, with higher forces, beautiful. So thank you for doing this, Frank. I'm very excited. And I'd love to follow what you're doing with the your group and so on. It's amazing.
Absolutely. The honor is all mine. So why don't you give people an idea where you're from, who you are, what's your story? Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, Vince Kelvin. As you said, I grew up in Switzerland. Beautiful little town over there. That's the town where Jean-Louis Chevrolet, the guy who eventually also came to America and started the company Chevrolet, Chevy's cars. He was born in that town also. We traveled quite a bit. My godfather had nightclubs in Germany, in Essen. I would love to go visit him over there. Did music and so on. And I was a little bit of a misfit by choice, you know. And I certainly mastered at a young age the archetype of the bad boy. But those are just, you know, attempts to try to better understand responses to the dynamic of life without instruction. So, yeah, I was a little bit of a juvenile delinquent to some degree, but it was a paradox because on the other hand, I had this beautiful upbringing with parents that were such examples of being truly loving, just the right balance, examples of really being entrepreneurs. I mean, I've witnessed my parents do things, Frank. I played hockey. And when I played hockey, suddenly one night, you know how people talk. There's the talkers, the doers. My parents overhear the hockey coach, remarkable gentleman, Stu Cruikshank, who was from Canada, and he had relocated to coach kids in Switzerland, in my hometown. He's talking with parents, and they're saying, wouldn't it be awesome if we brought all those kids to Canada? Now, most people would just go, yeah, that'd be awesome. My parents heard it and acted upon it. And within an entire year, they organized things And it was not things that they had done before. Suddenly they organized a big concert, bands, and so on to generate money. So witnessing, my parents hearing an idea, having a goal, acting upon it was absolutely different. Then, time passes. My father, 80 now. In a way, he's at his strongest, but we could be fooled by the illusion, meaning he barely walks, but what it would take for somebody to get up in the morning and their wrestle, the struggle is like getting up, getting dressed, moving, dealing with the facts of life. He is like more than ever my hero. And my mom, whom you had met, and she always really looked up to you, she was like, how's Frank doing all the time? I remember we went to dinner once. She insisted, oh, we need to bring Frank to dinner. He's such a good man. She passed away last year. And what a process, man. What a process. It's one thing I remember in my early days of coaching. People know me as Pickup, and now I've become a character. I'll talk about that in a second, but it's pretty funny, the evolution and being that character in Hollywood. But I started with coaching, success coaching, life coaching. We were trying to give it a name, healing and so on. And I recall helping a woman whose husband had just passed away, but I had no first-hand experience of it. So I was trying to change her state. I was trying to get her to be more upbeat, to continue to dare to take action. But when you go through it yourself, wow, it launched me last year into complete re-examination of my entire life. So it was rich, but of an intensity, and I decided to deal with it raw. It would have been easy to pump myself up, to get busy, and nothing wrong with that. For some, that's what they need. I'm certainly not the only one last year who lost somebody. And I don't know if the phrasing of losing someone is even accurate, but when the option could be some of my friends, what they did, they got busy with work and they went at it stronger. For me, I just wanted to be as raw as possible, see what comes up, trust. And it's been very rich, very intense. Anyway, I deviated a little bit. I passed it back to you, Frank.
Yeah, I just want people to really know that Vince lives the life, okay? So when we talk about pickup, and you can give your own definition of that, what it really is yourself later. But I mean, my definition of pickup would be a man that is really studying the art of seduction and learning how to seduce women. And some guys, or most guys who study that are aware of that. They think they know a little bit about game, even though they don't know anything. Or they think they do that, but then it's just on the weekends, maybe Friday, Saturday, they go out and try to talk to girls and stuff like that. What I really want everybody to know is that this man, he lives that life, okay? That's his profession, and he does nothing else, okay? That's what he does. And he lives off of teaching people and getting results with that stuff, right? So what was your beginning in pickup, and how did you get into that? Were you a natural? Were you did you have to study it? Were you, similar to others, maybe first not that good at it, and then you had to learn it and became really, really good at it? What was your story with that?
Frank, and everybody watching, I was blessed with going through the journey and experiencing, and I think it's kind of the same for all of us, a little bit of everything that can happen when a man decides he wants to do well with women. So initially, I could tell that it was something that was very important to me. And a little bit more happened to me than what happens to most guys, numbers are irrelevant, but whenever I talk to people like, hey, what about in your early teens? What was it like for you? I realized I did certainly more than most. So there was that aspect there, with no jargon or any of this. I had a good little gimmick going on for myself. And if there was any natural element, it was the fact that I knew how to capitalize on being a certain character and projecting myself a certain way to impact others and women. I did things like I lived with a girl from age, she was 15, I was 17. We lived together for 2 years. My parents gave the permission to that. We had an entire floor for ourselves. When that came to an end, I was devastated, like really bad, bad, because I had never learned how to manage that. So it was a little bit of a polarity. And then I've experimented. It's like the story of Babe Ruth. I certainly probably slept with more women than most guys out there. Definitely kissed more women, talked to more women, interact more often. I've never been with a colleague or anybody where they interact more than me. Usually by the time they talk to 2 girls, I've spoken to at least 15. So it was a plus and a minus, a long journey oftentimes. I recall 10 years ago in Amsterdam, or even more than 10 years, Bad Boy from Croatia joined me, and we announced that it was my grand goodbye to the community. But that's not the proper mindset. It's something we're going to have to deal with it our entire life. And it's a very difficult art. Here's why. It's extremely difficult, extremely difficult. First, we get a little confused because it's an extremely fluid matter. And we're used to dealing more with static matters. Okay? It's one of the most unpredictable thing we can pursue in life because it involves my own emotions, thoughts, internal manifestation, and behavior, and so on. Combined with that of other people, the conclusions that are drawn in between can almost become like an identity. So many struggle because they still kind of hope that they're going to find a structure in it. And it's very chaotic. So it's really the ability to surrender, embrace chaos, and from that chaos to do something with it. My own worst enemy is going to be, and it's not an enemy, that frame, it's a nice little quote that we read. You are your own worst enemy. Who the fuck said that at the first place? I don't know. Okay? But is there another way to phrase it? But I got to watch because I got to deal with me first. All relations start with self-relation. Message that Aphrodite gave quite a few times when you were channeling Aphrodite for me. Okay? There it elevated. When we first started to do some channeling, I was under the impression, Casanova was telling me, oh, okay, to finger a girl, just make sure you use that third finger a little bit more. And those were not the messages at all. But anyway, so self-relation. And that's really where I'm at right now. I'm helping to create that internal connection. Most don't understand that the same dynamic in dealing with the outside. Let's say a girl would say some of the basics, okay, just as an example. You say that to everybody. If I hear that and I'm thinking, oh no, she's not into it, and I start to feel like I did something wrong and I need to remedy, that's the beginning of the end. If instead I go, yes, of course, actually I forgot to say it to your grandmother, she's the last one on the list. No, stop saying silly things. And you play with it. That's seduction right there. I got to first do that with me. But for most, they're unaware of that. So a little voice tells them, oh, she's probably with so-and-so. She's not calling back. She's not interested. They don't interact with that voice. So you got to interact. You got to turn around and say, well, we don't know. Do we? Why not find out? So there's that very fluid element. There's the fact also that it's a lot of unlearning. Because if we think about it, everything we heard or even references from movies and so on They're limiting and they're off. It's still the most taboo topic. Okay. It's a topic rarely talked about. And then there's the factor of male ego. Each day I see guys and they're awesome, and I know how much they would benefit from it. And, you know, that's what we've learned as men. Like, oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. No, you're not good. You need to open up, and we need to re-examine that, because I don't see the results. Or they underestimate. It's easy to look at average and think average was kind of worse than us from the beginning. But average, you know, the margin between great success is like a fork on the road, and average is very small. It doesn't take much. Most guys, they're going to stop a little too soon. They're going to have a girlfriend. They won't manage that well. And the next thing they know, they'll turn around having to get back in game because they didn't manage that relationship well. Okay. And we can be well intended and we're still heading that way. I pass it back to you. You know, it's rich, so I got to condense the answers.
No, I think that's pretty cool. It's just that we got to bring it back to a level of people that are not at a mastery level of that, including myself. You know, I still, like, I've been around you, and what I want people to know is that, like, you might think that you're socially free and you're okay with people's judgment and you still do whatever it is and you express yourself. You're not free compared to Vince Kelvin. Okay, this guy just doesn't give a shit. Okay, and in a good way, though. He's not like, of course, he understands social dynamics way better than everybody else, but his limitations are just way beyond what a normal person, a normal guy's limitations might be, and including women as well. So it's very liberating to be around him, definitely, and to watch him do that thing. It's like, wow, I didn't even know that was okay. But people love it. The thing is, though, when it comes to the pickup community or people that are interested in improving their dating game and stuff like that, there seems to be a couple of different groups to me. You know, like, so I don't really meet those guys, but let's say you watch online and talk to a couple of people. There seem to be these MGTOW guys that have just given up on relationships, and there are like incels that are completely. I mean, they're dangerous. They're dangerous guys oftentimes, because it's not healthy to completely cut yourself off from all of that and be like, oh, all women are bitches or whatever, right? And then there are these guys who are, they're good guys, you know, they have a good heart and all that stuff, and they would be such an asset to a lot of women, but they don't know how to communicate that and how to talk and communicate in a way that is enticing to a woman's mind, right? So what would your top 3 tips be for men out there who want to get better at seducing women and pick up and improve their social dating life? What would that
be? I heard the word top, so I'm going to work it top below. I think, you know, for your group, and this is something also that was crystallized through working with you, Frank. So it's important to acknowledge, you know, part of what gives me, I'm not giving the 3 yet, but I want to say one thing, okay? Part of what gives me a little bit more freedom, and it always feels good when you hear somebody say, you know, Vince Kelvin, or if I was to say Frank, or it feels good, right? And we're totally free and we have the right to embrace that. But I got to watch out, because it could also suck me in. For me, and I'll give the top 3, but I think it's important to really understand what is the true social freedom, okay? And it's connected to the 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 up here, and 1, 2, 3 that way, okay? As within, so without, as above, so below. So first, we got to understand that love, sex, romance, and so on, it's a wonderful journey. It can be extremely rich. But like the majority of the human journey, it's not something that's going to stack and stack and stack and stack. And 300 years from now, here I am, and I have a harem of 5,000 women that, on top of everything, are ready to fight for me and so on. Okay. That would be great. When we're little kids, we think like that. This is very infant thinking, right? It's gonna be like rhythms and cycles in nature. I'm witnessing my father at a later age, a very alpha male, beautiful relationship. You know, if we could score, like it's Olympic like, check mark, raising the kid, check mark, being alpha powerful, being good to a woman, okay, while not succumbing, check marks. But now it's like she's not there. At 80, you know, you can get back in game. I don't think so, or to some degree, or the dynamics completely different. So initially, for many, it's easy to be at a place of desperation, and all dynamics are possible. That's where we get confused, because I could be measuring extreme. I could have a sense of a place of desperation. Is that guy who was like, she left me. Oh no, somebody help me. And I go, I'm not that. I don't have a problem with that. But it's highly possible that I could score high, do well, and so on. And now suddenly I go back to a behavior similar to that, minimally in just one area. So it's also time dependent. So I got to watch out. But anyway, there's the layer of desperation. I feel like a victim, like I have a disadvantage, like others, and their research too far, and it makes us be in denial. What if a guy goes like, I do okay with women that are 6 or 7, but not 10s? You're officially, in my own humble experience, in my book, that's desperation, that's victim frame. The fighting frame. The fighting frame is I'm still afraid. It's still fear based. But I'm afraid to be afraid. I don't want to be afraid. I only want good. I favor good. I don't realize I'm addicted to doing well and feeling good. It's still like, good boy, good boy. Oh, you did your homework. You're a good boy. I would deny that. If I really open to it, it would start to hurt me, like it's burning my ego. Bad. But I'm still afraid of fear. And my best solution is totally reactive. I want to be as strong as possible. Okay. And I'm so guarded that what was a fortress turns into a jail. Been there. What's higher? I have no problem really opening to the true dynamic. I'm a blend of assets and liability. Some women will, some women won't. It might start great and turn after that. There will be bizarre manifestations. One girl may end up with my best friend and so on. But where and when did I so buy into the idea that that was bad, that was wrong? Okay, is moon better than sun? Is day better than night? Is summer better than winter? Those are all attachment. So true social freedom is wherever it goes, I'm good. Wherever it goes, I'm good. Because anyway, it's all gonna go. So now we do the 3, 2, 1 this way. Okay. So the top recommendation. It's all gonna go anyway. Who is keeping score? We don't realize subconsciously we still keep track, keep score based on early impressions. Like we want to impress somebody, but who's that person? Your friend from high school? Your friend from kindergarten? The next person on social media? And even if they're impressed, what is that doing to you? How is that going to help you evolve? And where's it going? So eventually, it's all going to go. And even my greatest achievement, sure, let's say I've achieved quite well and they remember me a couple of years after I'm dead. Interesting. But what about you turn that into 3,000 years? Most likely it won't matter anymore. What about 30,000 years? What about 1,000 years ago? What about in years? Okay. So the sooner it through an evolution from kindergarten to high school and so on. I'm free, and sooner or later I'm going to collapse, and that will cause the collision. So, the more I surrender, if I never have again, well, so be it. And we got to continue to go there. So that's pretty deep. The next one is don't let your first impression fool you, because from the initial frame, we won't be able to work it. If let's say I have a box and I cannot fit everything I want to fit in that box, doesn't matter, flip the box that way. No, I need a different box. That's the idea with framing. So too many guys, for example, they think I want multiple women. I got to tell that my girl that I want to be with other women. Nothing good's going to happen that way, because you're trying to create a different reality in the same old frame. You're trying to fit more in a small box. Change the box. Cannot operate. Guy goes like, well, sometimes I want to talk, but I get anxious. That's the problem. It's that frame of mind, because that's not really what's happening. We get fooled by the explanations we give first. We want a different result. We proclaim everywhere like, oh, fuck the average mindset, but we don't realize we're still stuck in the average mindset. So you got to shatter. For that, you need to open your mind to what else could it mean. And for 3 decades now, Frank, I've noticed that there's a tendency for people to want to deal with the matter, assuming that their first impression of it was accurate, and they cannot change it, because, if you start with falseness, it's going to be off afterwards. Okay. And then the third one would be to understand its momentum. We got to move away from the model of there's that girl. Momentum is incredible. The way I've worked it for a long time, I call that synchronistic seduction. I got to get myself in action, no matter how I feel. Then maybe I'm going to talk to that girl. That girl maybe is just going to go, oh yeah, thank you. And later on, I'm going to see the same item that I saw on the first girl on another girl. I'm going to be, no way. Second time I see this shirt tonight. Is there a convention that one may laugh, say hello, nothing happens? The third one, suddenly I go, finally, somebody who's twice I saw the same shirt. If I see it one more time, no, something is wrong. Maybe she laughs. And then suddenly I encounter girl number 1 again at a venue. I go, no way, you here. From the distance, it looks like I'm interacting with somebody. I turn to another girl. You understand the dynamic. The problem is that guys stop in between. If they were driving, you'd be like, Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3 would be watch. Nothing is holding you back. Step out of the desperation. Second, really want to be free and thrive with women. Stop acting strong based out of fearing weakness. Evolve into something greater. Say, I will be a blend of strength and weaknesses. I will make very good choices. I will make very bad choices. I don't know when I'm going to depart. Some will, some won't, It's that Marcus Aurelius thing. He would wake up in the morning and says, some people are going to be with me today. Some people are going to be against me. I'm all good. And then the 3, 2, 1 is going to be, it's all going to pass. So don't be fooled by anything. Okay. Reach a place where suddenly you turn around and the girl that you were sleeping with is sleeping with somebody else, and go, wow, how interesting. I hope it's good. Enjoy, you guys, as an aim. And be certain that you don't start with the first idea. Your mind tells you, well, maybe, I should be more confident. How do you know? How do you know? What else could it be? And then it's not like one man, one girl, talk to her. It's not linear. So keep your momentum going no matter what. What if you start right now? You make the decision and you're under a new impression of success has already been decided. What if you reside in total trust when you interact with women? That was long, Frank. That's part of when you line up the decade here and there. I don't think I hear you, Frank. Okay.
Yeah. It's so interesting that for the first three tips that you like, I think what most people would have expected, including myself, would dress different, walk more confidently, and I don't know, change something about your tonality. But what you gave, which is so interesting, is like a mindset first, right? The top three mindsets essentially, which is so interesting because thinking about it, it's really that the mindset that you have really determines how you perceive things, and as you perceive things differently, they begin to change, which is so interesting. I really like that. It's just really interesting, and once that frame is in place, all kinds of micro decisions will be different if the mindset is different, and that might lead to completely different outcomes. Yeah, absolutely. And for once again, a lot of people that will watch this video have never gone really into pickup, and they've never studied it. They might have seen things here and there superficially. Maybe they even read the book, I don't know, like the game or whatever. But it's really technical, if you will. Okay, like it's an art that has like a very artistic part to it, but also there's a lot of technique that goes into it. A lot of things that have to be mastered, right? So how to get into the right state, how to talk to them, how to understand how language captures their imagination and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How what the techniques are that you like to use, if you will?
Yes, Frank. Since I went very big picture, but my experience as a student, I studied with a lot of the greats. It's all embarrassing. Finances. I sat with Warren Buffett, but what he said went in one ear, out of the other ear. I spent quite a bit of time going around with Tony Robbins, part of his crew, Ryan Tracy, all those greats. If I look back, because that was 20, 30 years ago for me, Jim Rohn and so on, they gave me some answers that were very big picture, but what I didn't realize is we're heading there anyway, so you may as well save time, okay, in the bigger picture. And I think all practitioners of magic and so on, since you're seeking a higher, deeper truth, you may as well come to it sooner. I went very big picture. Let's go now, here, now, changes today. So one is you got to start to observe that till it clicks that we all can operate slightly differently. Observe those today who their mode of delivery, their overall dynamic is like, hey, next, can I help you? And realize they're not really giving everything that they could. Okay? If you did one thing to impact the feminine more strongly, is to enter at a different level. And it's not something you have to work on. It's a decision here now. So try it. Okay? Imagine suddenly you want to do pickup from a place of how would you use your body and move if you really were hesitant right now? Make that even worse. Notice you probably would see the girl, but not even bother to think about going. Shake that off. Okay? Now, if really there was an amazing opportunity right now, we knock on the door, we go, oh my God, you won't believe that. You won the game. And you wanted it. Okay? Or suddenly be like, fuck, we need to leave right now. Well, I've been finished. Shut up! They're attacking us. Go! I want you to leave. Okay? So arise, and any guy that would go from like, hey guys, quick question to, hey guys, quick question. When you go stronger, it can create a little more tension. You got to watch out. It can also make you feel a little rigid, like you're a bully. So you got to ease the face, ease the body, be like water. Hey guys, entering like that, it's night and day. Decide you're going to change this today. Observe it in other people. Observe it in you. Okay? Then everybody's always concerned of what to say next, how to continue. Simple system. Whatever is happening, you use that. That's my favorite. If suddenly I hear a little voice go, wow, I don't know what to say. Perfect. Okay. I did a program a couple of years ago called God Given Game. It confused everybody, but it was about the idea that what if you already have it within? What if you've been underestimating what's happening? So right there, I'm walking. First, I got to make sure that I allow myself to enter from a different level. It's not like, oh, pump yourself up. No, enter from a different level. You could sit at a shit table, at a better table, or at the best table. Okay. You could enter from like the back door, or you could enter from the front door, or you could have an helipad and arrive from the penthouse and land on the roof of the building and arrive. So how do you arrive? Arrive in a new way. You're ready. Okay. That's is sub-communication. It takes care of so much. I don't know what to say. I said, I don't know what to say, but I'm saying hello to you. That's simple. Third tip, right there, communication, especially with female, has to do with what do you do when you're done talking. If suddenly I go, hey, I don't know what to say, but I wanted to say hello, and I look at them like, did I do okay? That kills it. So you got to correct that. You can correct it by, at first you fake it a little bit. You go, what did I have for breakfast? And you have a little move like that, you know, or look in the distance. And then you go back at it. So that is an essential aspect. After that, everybody wants to talk about her and what she's doing and make another compliment and search, what can I talk about? Like you were born yesterday and you never ever talk and you know only a few words. Bullshit. Okay. Right there. The experience of sometimes I want to talk and you don't talk. And what about you? What do? You already have your topic. Okay. Split the screen in half. On one hand, wow, okay, look at that. She's hot. Yeah, she talk. I'm not doing anything. It's not me. Okay. It's just I'm entering it too low. I'm like the athlete who goes, what time is the game? Are we starting to play soccer now? Okay, higher. On the other hand, I enter a little stronger. Okay. Second, suddenly here I'm looking for what to say. I want to say the perfect thing. Here, whatever is there. Hey, we've seen you already before. Second time we see you now. At the end of my sentence, here, I just look like a little boy who's trying to confirm his validity through other people. Here, on the other side, even if they look at me weird, even if they don't say anything, it doesn't matter. It's them. What am I? So fragile that I depend on a person, a stranger's answer to feel good about myself. So I don't cave in. I go, you're not much of a talker. That's okay. Look at us. We're adorable. I be the talker and you be the quiet one. She says something. Now, reverse game. I go, no, you're supposed to be quiet. Control the frame. Okay? So that may appear to be pretty simple. There's an addiction, obsession of the mind that will, remember when I said don't be fooled by what comes first? I know 90% of people watching this, and I would have been the same if I didn't know me or I saw me from the past and I heard me today, would go, interesting. But see, for me, my problem is, and that's got to be recognized. No, that's your false obsession. Hear this and work on those 4 aspects right there. Get solid with them. Well, what about what I'm going to do after? You're concerned about what you're going to be after before. That's the problem. Drop that.
So going in without expectations, with an open frame, and knowing that if you don't have too many expectations, you will actually be able to react to the situation as it develops, right? Is that
I love that. Yes, Frank. Let's, with matters like that, and this is something I've learned from you, okay? We got to make sure that we work with it a little bit. Because if I tell a guy right now, go in with no expectations, what does that mean? So I got to know what expectations I could have and what would be a solution. The problem is that I still compartmentalize. And I say I because I see too many people online and I'm not judging. Okay, I'm just preferring my own teaching at this stage to not be the person who goes, and you got to do this, and you, and you, and you, and you. It feels more comfortable. If you're studying with somebody and they do that, great. They're onto something else. We cannot all be onto the same thing. Okay. So it's just a personal thing. That's me. So when I say that doesn't mean I have that challenge today, but potentially I could have it and I've had it. And I prefer to communicate to you that way. So, what expectations are we talking about? Well, I hope it's going to go well. And I'm a little bit concerned that it may not go well. And I see that as a problem. So I'm doing my best to either ignore that it may not go well, try to press it down, but it's still telling me, what if she doesn't do this? What if? And I think the remedy is to get rid of this so I can only feel good. I don't realize that it's really not appealing, and it's an underestimation of myself, and it's a false frame of life. So that template, that's what we mean by expectations. And what should I replace that with? I should let go of expecting that it's going to go well, because it makes me fear that it may not go well, and the slightest little sign on both sides gets me weird. If suddenly the girl's listening and I'm kissing the girl, then I could be the next guy who goes, wow, I just met this girl. She's really awesome. She's different. She's like very spiritual. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to meet her. We're meeting this week. And then midweek, the same guy is like, I don't know. She's not texting back. Where did I go wrong? Or I could be the guy who, one girl's like in a weird mood, and she's pissed at her boyfriend, and she gives me crazy eyes, and I think that it's me. Instead, again, like the Marcus Aurelius thing, the idea would be, I'm aware that I have no expectations. I'm aware that as a man, it won't take much for me to be attracted. Okay. And that's not abnormal, and that's not me. And the goal is not to get rid of that, because it probably would require me castrating or removing whatever causes me to be attracted to women at a physical standpoint. I don't want to do that, of course. So I got to be aware that what I got to do is manage and monitor that without holding it against me. But, the slightest first little indication that the woman is better, in my own opinion, she looks a little bit better, she seems a little sweeter, and so on, I'm going to get weird. Okay? So that's okay. So for me, if I was doing, everybody says, how do you prepare, Vince? And I've done the rituals throughout the years, like the come to me ritual. I've done like hardcore trance work and so on. But right now I go talk to myself. So you'll talk to yourself. I go, Vince, first you're a guy. Before you know it, your eyes are going to catch a woman. And if you feel sweet at that time, you're going to start to go, oh, maybe she's the one. If you feel horny at the time, you're going to start to fantasize that she could be the next fast lay. Okay. And you got to observe that and go almost like you with your little brother and go, cute, come on, you make me laugh. You like women, don't you? But you cannot let that lead you. Okay. Then you got to watch, because you also could rapidly succumb to something internal, Vince. If part of you is a little tired and so on, you could think, oh no, that's going to come in the way. So be mindful of that manifestation. The next thing with people and places, the likeliness of, something not being to your own taste is very high. Don't succumb to that. So all those manifestations going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go left, it's going to go right. Or I should say, you're going to be under the impression that it's going up. You're going to buy into the illusion that it's going down. There's going to be all those different manifestations. And in the middle of all of that, not perfectly, you're a human. You'll get pissed here and there. You get frustrated here and there. But try to contain that just a touch. Then you'll be slightly more stable than other guys. And in the end, it's the game of who's the last man standing. Right now we go, all right, who wants to come in field? Yes, we got 100 guys. first thing that's going to happen, a big bracket of them, it'd be related to how they feel, weather, location, and time of the day. Some guys are going to be like, oh no, I prefer to do it during the day. Others are going to be, oh no, I prefer to do it at night. Boom, goodbye. Wow, it didn't take much for you to collapse. You get it. I don't want to be redundant. I think that, again, when we've lived a little longer and we operated from modes that maybe were of a different rhythm, it's easy to linger a little bit. I think that's the point was made with this one. I really appreciate this, Frank. I hope it's to your liking. So
Exactly. It's this one technique, man, that I learned from you. I use that so many times. It's like this push pull. I think that's what it's called. When you at the same time show interest but subcommunicate, pushing her away, or you say that the explicit communication is we shouldn't get too close or don't come too close, and at the same time you pull her in or something like that. I don't know. It's essentially two different communications at the same time, consciously and subconsciously.
Yeah.
And that
I call that dual direction. Okay. Now, there was a rendition of that in the community that someone named pull, okay, and push, okay. So it would be you go in a little bit and then you take it away. That's great. What I witnessed when guys would do that was they were not clear about the core dynamic that supports it. So it was a little too fake and mechanical. Of course, the guy wanted her. So it would be like going in and going out. Many were confused, and they're going out or going in. You got to calibrate it. So they were going in too strong or out too strong. If you're in a public venue, you go away too strong. By the time you come back in, she's talking to somebody else. So personally, I've approached it from a completely different angle. It's not everybody. And there's so much evolution, I've met girls during the past couple of years that consider themselves a they. Okay, at first it made me smile, but whatever. Deal with the territory. So some girls consider themselves a they. So just to say, but overall, the male-female dynamic. I'm a guy. I'm under a false impression that I cannot have that much. Okay. Because I filter it the way I filter girls. So if I don't look super good, and even if I do look super good, I'm still not clear what will be appealing to a woman. And then, as that man, I want one thing. I want to get the girl, right? So it's like marching. It's the best explanation is in our sexual wiring, and okay. Marching, going in, that's it. Next. Woman, first, I don't go around like a guy going like, okay, I want to fuck somebody today. And I have more options. So if we have a dynamic 1 and 2, okay, at a certain level, which one is the greater? 2 overrule 1. We could tweak it around, I'm sure, but just keep it like that, okay? We have 2 cars versus 1 car. Who's got the most cars? The person who has 2 cars, okay? So there, it's almost unfair because I want one thing and she's open to, he's a cool guy, but then again, my study, my work, my this, my that. So we're going in, it's a lost cause, okay? It's like we're attacking a castle and they're way more equipped than we are. So at best, we're like back to the beggar or giving it a shot. But now, you got 2. Watch this. I got 3. First, I'm going to play with that polarity, but I'm not going to go back and forth because that's your problem. You go back and forth. So I'm adding the 3rd element because I'm going to do what you do better than you with a higher option. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to I call it dual direction. It's like pull push. No, otherwise I would have called it pull push. I'm saying that for some of the guys that I taught throughout the years who don't make the distinction that it's different. Okay. So as I go in physically, that's when I go out verbally. Same time. As I go in verbally, that's when I go out physically. And then I crisscross the 2. That's just the basic layer, but the basics, we got to master them. We all have heard that. Okay. Live by it. So I go in maybe and I say, it's really too bad that I'm only passing by. And that's when I hold her hand. Right now I could say, with that COVID thing, and I could hold her then. So it appears that I'm saying, no, let's not. And that's when I'm moving in. And then after that, I let go of the hand. I said, because to me, you're sexy. And add the to me, value yourself first. To me, you're sexy. Not like, oh, you're so sexy. So that's dual direction, which is really triple because I'm doing it with more options than her. Now, fake it till you make it. We've heard that. What would be superior to fake it till you make it? Really understand the core understanding and do your best to embrace that ASAP. The core understanding would be that they have an unfair advantage at the level of their core framing. They could, but they could not. If I go and I just want it, it's like in business, say we got a company and they're in business already. So they're not too worried about the future of their business. They would be open to working with somebody, doing a merger, okay? But they don't depend on it. On the other hand, for the other person, it's their big chance. My God, if I get to work with that company, maybe something good could happen to me. Who's got the power, okay? So we got to come in with more options. Option would be, it'd be wonderful to be with you. At the same time, I've lived up until now without you. So I think I'm going to be all right. And that's the core mindset. From that place, I'm going to have the proper dynamic. And that dual direction is lethal because it's easy to misread women and it snaps because we go at it too much thinking that they're going to think like us. And the moment they do their little feminine thing, we overread into that every day. Frank, it's insane. I hear guys tell me like, oh man, it was going so well. And then she said she had to go. And I would say, oh, that's the beginning right there. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course. Okay. If ever you're in a situation and the girl goes, yes, sure. Hey, come to my place. Yeah. I would start to be a little worried. Okay. Maybe that girl is after something. Maybe she's a working girl. And certainly don't start to open your heart and fall in love with her because a girl that does that with you is a girl that does that with probably everybody. Okay. So there it will be, okay, there's that crazy girl. I'll see her here and there. I'm not going to come around crying if the next time I see her, I see her with another guy. I'll be like, good for you. You too, bro. Okay. And that's it. So it's absolutely normal. Even in a relationship, those people who suddenly they go like, well, I don't know if we can be together. The girl brings up something. That's totally normal. The only problem is that you think it's abnormal. It's again that attachment to 1, 2, 3, all is good. I'm only up and happy. No.
So from a woman's perspective, having talked to so many women and having such an expertise over decades, I believe you have a very good grasp of the female mind, right? So what are females' perspectives on men in general? Like in what kind of a world do they live? Like with men being often so unaware, what is a woman's perspective and experience in this world?
First, a woman, it's possible that she likes women, okay? But she's not going to process herself the way you process her from the outside. You could see the result of a photo shoot where the girl paused super sexy. And from the outside, it's like, wow, look at those legs. And the ankle is so thin and perfect. And those shoes look so good on her. From the inside, it's probably the lights are hot. How long am I standing here? And probably also self-concern. Am I doing good? Maybe you're comparing with some girl that's a model with more Instagram fans. So first, the process of being a being, no matter what the gender or assessment of the gender may be, is the same for all of us. We forget that. Okay? We forget that. And it doesn't matter how many times you say, don't put beauty on a pedestal, don't be blinded by beauty. Yeah, I know that. My question is, how do I then like go from going to sevens to betting tens? You are simply not betting tens because you still make tens special. Yeah, and they don't really feel any different. The other thing with women is we got to watch out because they still sold the idea that one day their prince will come, and we got to encourage a woman to ease a little bit, and they can rapidly. When I coach women, from the perspective of if you're a woman watching this, okay, you can find a good man, but don't think that that good man is gonna work like and come home and go, baby, how are you? And then sing you a serenade and then do the dishes and then make love to you like you never been made love to, and wake up the next day and have breakfast for you, just like drop that a little bit. Because there are too many women, they're so attached to that. That's why sometimes they go, I don't know if I can be with you. And it's still presupposed that we're going to be with you forever. When in fact, they could have a good little season with one good guy, another good deposit. We got to humanize them. I simplify it. Here's the misunderstanding. Guys misunderstanding women. Okay. I've never seen a guy who thinks that a girl is better because she's beautiful and so on, end up long-term successful with girls like that. Living in Hollywood, it's not uncommon that I see guys who maybe never really studied game or just a touch, but they hustle, they got a good life, they're taking care. You see them with beautiful women. You would go to them and go, oh my God, your girlfriend is so beautiful. Less and less I bring girls at events because I know what's going to happen. Okay. Somebody's going to be like, you need some water? Hi. Thank you, Vince. And thank you to your girlfriend. Why are you thanking my girlfriend? She's here. You're thanking her that she's taking good care of me, but I can do that. So, those guys that naturally are, don't overly hallucinate. Okay, they're doing decently with a woman. They're not like scoring high everywhere, unnatural. Okay, so you start to say, oh my God, your girlfriend is beautiful. Yeah, but man, she's disorganized. Yeah. But not mean, so you got to reach the place if you want to score high with oh my God, she has so many followers on Instagram. Oh my God, she's like, this guy the other day tells me she's an attorney. Like, oh, that changes everything. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Okay. You can't buy into the title, into the look. You got to see the human. And for that, it's important to come back to what's it like to be a human. Okay. And one thing that you recently, I consult with you, Frank. Like, if it were up to me, I'd be like, Frank, question. Hello, Frank. You know that, right? Because I love the work and I love you. But you recently mentioned when I wanted to consult with you that to not be so sucked in the world, to come back to well, somebody's calling me that they're probably going to call me back to back.
Let me just finish it up with one last question, okay? One last question, and I think we're good for the day. Okay, so for people who want to check out your work, who are really interested, I really recommend that you guys do that. And I think women should check that out too, by the way. I think women often don't see things from a man's perspective. I think women are more clueless about men than vice versa, But I mean, that's a different topic. But the bottom line is this: everybody who watches this should check out Vince's stuff. And can you please let us know where they can find you, Vince?
Yeah, Instagram, Vince Kelvin, YouTube, Vince Kelvin, and the site is actually easy, vincekelvin.com. Now, it started as a joke when I was on a streaming with this guy named Ice Poseidon. I recently did it again on the Adam 22 show. I like to give my phone number. I don't know. It makes people laugh. When I did it on the, what's it called? Ice Poseidon, within less than an hour, I received 1,000 texts. Okay. If you send me a text or message me on Instagram, however you want, you know, I really appreciate it. I love that first step, reaching out. So you're welcome to do that. And yeah, women, you know, I started coaching women, and everything is a plus and a minus. So with everything comes a price, you know. So the one who never made any children might reach 80, and the price is like, wow. You know, my friends are gone. They're all dead. Who's going to come around to see how I'm doing? I didn't make any children. Well, but while somebody else was like hoarding the children to school and saying, look at that motherfucker, he's got a good life over there. So I paid a little price. In Hollywood, I became a character right now. You know, we did that thing with Channel 5, Vice TV. Yesterday, I'm like that, going to a store, asking for a smoothie. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're the guy from Channel 5. And it's like an icon. Okay. They fantasize the Mohawk. So I became that character. Like, that's amazing. I also frame myself so many, you know, videos with girls and so on, that like many guys, they go like, okay, Vince, teach me about pickup, or I can't speak this week because I have a little problem in my business, or this and that. And it's like, that's how I started. That's even my greater knack. So, you know, there's with every great power comes great responsibility. So I am responsible for having powerfully framed myself in Hollywood as this Vince Kelvin character and in the pickup community, and rightfully so. And I am that character, and I am that. But then some people don't remember that, you know, I just lost someone. I have this. The doctor told me this. The doctor told me that. Oh man, you know, I can't believe they took my money and so on. I'm happy to assist, and I've had company turn around years ago and so on. I want to thank you so much, Frank. Okay, just I follow Frank's advice. I got so many sigils drawn. Look at that. Got it there also. All of this is the result of working with Frank. It's all over, right? There's still blood on those from packs and so on. I hope it's okay for me to say that, but you know, I want to acknowledge, because it's easy for all of us to forget fast. Yeah. So all that beautiful evolution of Aphrodite's prince, and all of this was the result of working with Frank. Yeah.
Let me just wrap this up quickly. And once again, guys, if you have a slight interest in how to improve your social life and how to get better with women, how to get better with men, you know, find your partner, whatever your goal is, check out Vince's stuff. We're going to put all the links in the description under this video. Vince, thank you once again, and we're going to talk soon. Yeah.
Take care. Thank you, Frank. Thank you guys for watching. Love you.